We can now get to actual car creation. So let's just disable this collection. And as you can see, I made some objects here that are not in the collection. So let me just fix that. So let's select all and move to collection. Now we can disable this, and first of all we need to add some reference, and I've prepared an image of you of Ford Anglia that you can use here. I really like the aesthetics of that car. It's the car that appeared in the Harry Potter movies, and yeah, I just like its retro look and that it's simple, because I don't want to overwhelm you with complex design right now. So let's start with that, and right now you can go to the side view, so press 3, and we'll need to add a reference, so press Shift A, image and reference, and navigate to that Ford Anglia PNG file that I provided, and yeah, just lock it in place. And we need to set some properties here, so we can check use alpha and bring it down a little bit. Basically just the things that we already did when you place the reference for the scene in the top view. So let's enable the front side and disable the perspective view. And yeah, I really don't want to disable this right now, because we'll need to provide the front and back view as well. Let's adjust this a little bit. So press G and Z, select the image, press G and Z and move it a little bit down for the wheels to touch the axis. Okay, and right now I want to have this in the front view. So let's just press Shift D to duplicate, enter, and rotate -90 degrees. So R, Z, -90. And now if you go to the front view, you have this new image visible there. And now it's just about placing it correctly. So let's grab it on a Z and move it up so the wheels touch the axis. And let's press G and X to grab it here and try to hit the middle there. Okay, that's perfect. And right now I want the back view as well. And as I mentioned before, if you're in the orthographic view and you hit 9, you will go to the other side. So if you're in the front and now hit 9, and you will rotate the other way. So right now with this image selected, just Shift D to duplicate, enter, and rotate on the Z 180 degrees. So R, Z, 180, enter. And now if you press 9, you have it there, and just place it a little bit better in the middle here. So press G and X and align it here. Okay, and right now we can disable those, and we have front, side and back. And in the perspective there's nothing visible, so that's what we need basically. And right now we can create a new collection. You can just right click here, create a new collection, name that car, and we can actually move those objects into this collection. Just drag and drop it there. So as you can see, there are multiple ways how to do things. You can do it in the scene and with the M key, or you can do it in the outline view. That's totally up to you. So that's our reference set up, and we can start modeling. Okay, so let's get started with the car modeling. And first of all, I want to say this will be a very low resolution model, because we don't have that much time to actually create something very complex. And it'll be more of a freeform tutorial where I won't maybe explain every movement of every vertex, so you will have to follow more freely. But I think it should give you real good basics on the approach of the car modeling or the edge modeling. So why I'm saying edge modeling, this is the technique where we won't create any primitive from the start and cut it and so on, and we'll start completely from the scratch with a single vertex and basically build the whole mesh as we go. based on the wireframe and based on the edges flow on the model. So let's start with that single vertex. Shift A, single vert, add single vert. Make sure you're in the vertex select and move it all the way here to this corner. And when you're starting with the reference like this, you might want to analyze the whole model and find some connected pieces and find some good starting point for the model. And here I think it will be this line over here, which connects the front and the back of the car and basically goes straight all the way. And you can see it here where there's a line that this probably will be straight up here. So let's press E and Y and extrude it all the way up here. Okay, and now we can select those two vertices and press E, then Z, and extrude this down. And we can go all the way where the wheels start, like this. And you can ignore the little things like this here, and you can. We are doing just a rough shape right now, and you can always go back, just as we did with the buildings. You can always go back to the model and make it more detailed and make some adjustments. Okay, so now I will do some loop cuts here where the wheels are. Just like this, and extrude some faces down. This one all the way to the bottom, and this one here. And now I can go to the vertex mode, and I can move these around to match the shape a little bit better. I think this will be fine like this. Okay, and maybe here we can do one more cut. And make it like this. So basically we are trying to roughly match this because we are doing a low resolution model. If we were modeling some high resolution hard surface model, we would be eager to really copy the surface that we see here. But right here we're basically creating a low poly cartoon representation of this car. So it's completely okay to be not precise. Let's move this here. Okay, and one more thing. We can maybe push this down a little bit and extrude all the way up here, where the line goes. And right now we can maybe push this down, create a little curvature here, and a little as well here. Okay, and right now if you look into the perspective, this looks not like much, but right now I just want you to grab it, go to the front view, press G, then X, and move it all the way to the side of the vehicle, right where it can touch the body like this. And right now we can add a mirror modifier. So go to the modifiers, add modifier, mirror modifier. And this is a perfect modifier for everything symmetrical, like cars, airplanes, trains, you name it, and the people faces as well, of course. So basically whatever are you creating and it's symmetrical, you want to cut it in half and let the mirror modifier do the rest. And this already takes a shape of a car a little bit. We just need to fix the curvature on the side, and there's a nice way to do that. Since we moved this vertex down here, if we would just take this loop and move it inside, it would create very uneven face right here. Let me show you. This one would be very distorted, and as you can see, if you would triangulate that, it's not very flat. And there's a simple way how to avoid that. Of course, not every time you can do this perfectly, but here where you start, you can avoid these things by rotating. So let's go to the edge select, select this one, and press Shift S and snap cursor to select it. And here we can switch the origin of the transformation to 3D cursor. Let's turn off the snap from the before. And right now, if you select this edge and rotate on the Y, you can tilt it like this very easily, and it remains completely flat. And that's what I want to do right now. So let's just go to the front view, press R, and rotate it like this, so it touches the car. Okay, and right now I want to snap it to here, so select this edge, cursor to select it, and yeah, I want to take this, and this, go to the front view and rotate it. Right now you have a nice shape, and all the faces are flat up until now. Now the next thing I want to do is to start connecting these two pieces, and I will start with the hood of the car. So let's go to the side view, let's go into the edit mode and wireframe, and here you can see where the door starts and where the front window basically connects to the hood, and there's where I want to make a cut. So let's make a new cut, and we can straighten it out by scaling on the y-axis. So let's press S and Y and 0, G and Y to grab it and move it all the way here. And right now we can select the hood faces right here, go to the front view, and we can extrude it on the X. So let's press E, then extrude, maybe somewhere here. And this is why it's called edge modeling, because we're basically trying to match some edges and fill the space in between with as nice face flow or topology as possible. So right here you can see this is the shape, this is the edge of the hood connecting to the rest of the body, and that's what I want to match with this one. So there's a nice tool to do that right here, and it's a shear tool. You can see it right here if you enable it. And let me switch to the medium point. You can shear the edge or vertices as you want. And the difference between rotation is that you are not distorting anything. And there's an, of course, shortcut for that, so it's Ctrl-Alt-Shift-S, and it's a handful. If you press that, and then you can select the X or Y, so let's press Y, and you can shear this. And let's create shape like this, and press G twice to move it here. So basically we have it where the hood starts and it continues down. So if you look from the top, it's a nice flow here. And right now we can go to the side view, or rather front view, and extrude this a little bit down. So let's extrude that. And again, let's go like a halfway here. And we can again shear this. So Alt Shift Control S and shear this like that. Maybe we can move this on X a little bit. And here you can see we have a nice edge flow there. And of course I want to modify this a little bit because I want the hood to go down here in the front. So we can press G twice here and move this up. And we can move this a little bit on the X. So this face here is a little bit more flat. Okay, and here it goes up. We don't want this to be... Okay, let's leave it like this for now. And right now I want to merge these two vertices, and of course it will create a triangle. And since we are doing a low poly model, I won't mind one triangle here, but most of the time I'm trying to use the quads wherever I can. If for some reason I would decide later to do a hard surface model from this or more detailed smooth model. And of course it's always good to have a nice topology and nice quads. But for this particular case I will merge these two. So let's just select this one here and shift select the top one, press Alt M and merge at last, so it will merge here at the top. And right now we can just create the hood of the car. So let's press 2 and select this edge right here. Let's press E and extrude on X. And if you would go all the way here, you can see it overlaps in the mirror modifier. So let's leave it like this. But there's one option in the mirror modifier here, and it's called clipping. You can see it right here. And if you enable that, you can now grab this with G, then X, and start moving it. And you can see as it comes to the edge of the mirror modifier, it will merge perfectly. So yeah, that's it basically. And now we have some basic shape of a car, and we can continue and move on to the window and the roof. Now if you want to clean this up a little bit, there's a nice little add-on called Loop Tools, and you can locate it in the preferences, go to the add-ons and search for loop. And you can see there's a mesh loop tools. You can activate it here, and then if you're right clicking on something, there's always a loop tools menu there, and there are several functions that can be used to speed up your geometry modeling workflow. And the one I use sometimes is called flatten, and you can right click and add it to your quick favorites. So I have it right here. If I press Q, you can see I have a flatten there. And what it does basically, if you go to the solid view, you can see it will interpolate the rotation and position of this face and try to make it flat. So this polygon is now perfectly flat, but you could see it moved a little bit these vertices. So it always affects some of the faces around, and you have to be really mindful of that. But basically you can do some of these small adjustments. So maybe we can flatten this one as well. And right now you can click this and flatten. And if you do it for all those in certain order, and you will basically get better results and not so much distorted polygons when you do something like this. So that's just a quick tip to keep in mind, maybe. And we can now continue modeling the windows. So let's go back to the edit mode. And right now I want you to select this edge right here, and we'll extrude the window. So let's go to the side view. Let's press E and extrude it up. Again, this can be rough, so go up until this corner here and leave it like that. And if you go to the wireframe view, you can see there will be some more cuts needed here. So let's do one here where the door is, and we can scale this on the Y. And actually let's move this here where the window is. And I want to make one more here and move it where the second window starts. And right now we can move this vertex by pressing G twice, somewhere here. And we can now start extruding some columns. So let's extrude the B column for the car. So let's extrude this. And this one as well. So E, then Z, and extrude. And of course you can go to the vertex select mode and adjust the shape. Can make this lower maybe. Okay, I like this, and I would rather do something else here. Let's maybe delete this one, and now just realize that we can make this another loop cut here and move it here where the front of the door is, and we can now extrude this one here as well. Maybe grab this on the x-axis or the y-axis. Okay, and right now we can go to the vertex select and select these two here and connect them with F, and select these two and connect them with F. So we have some base for the roof. And right now only thing that remains is to select these top vertices here, look from the front, and of course we can snap cursor there, and right now select this edge here, go to the front view, switch to the 3 cursor and rotate this so it's perfect and flat. Okay, just like that. But first, let me go one step back. Sorry for this, but this is a little bit more complicated than doing some building, and there is a lot of problem solving in place. So yeah, one more thing I want to do is to extrude this up on the z-axis. Maybe adjust this one. And this one here, make it like this, and now we can select those and rotate them. Perfect. And now just select this edge here, so click here, and by holding Control you can go all the way there. And we will extrude this on X. So let's press E and extrude. And we have some roof. And right now, if you will want to connect this to the hood, first of all, I want to move this a little bit closer here, so it's not that wide. Maybe this on the X a little bit. And right now we can just make a loop cut right there. So let's do that. Move it to the side. And right now you can just connect these two edges. And this already starts to look like a car. So let's just close that up here in the back side. We can go to the vertex select and let's extrude this vert right here all the way to the middle, and we can do a cut there, move it to the side here, and just connect these and these two, so we can close the back. And of course you can close these as well, and we'll create the windows later. So basically only this topology was important right here. We don't need any window holes here because we won't be doing interior. And here I think the best approach would be to extrude the trunk, but not from the side but to the back, and you will know why. Let's just look from the side, and actually it's not visible right here, but similarly as here, the trunk goes a little bit down here, and there's difference between the shape of the lights and the shape of the trunk. So I want to create that first. So let's extrude this and create trunk, maybe extrude this down here like that. So basically this is the final or almost final shape I want to achieve, and maybe this will be better like this, more towards the middle. We'll see about that. And right now let's just look from the back. Yeah, I missed that a little bit, so let me fix this. So you can see it goes all the way up here. And the reason why this doesn't fit that much is that the car actually goes a little bit narrower in the back, but we don't have a top view here. But these are the things that you can read, and you have to learn to read out of the reference images. So if we go to the top view, we can always move this on the x-axis, but to keep it as flat as possible, we can snap the cursor here, select the edge, and just rotate it a little bit. And if you look now from the back, so it's 1 to front view and 9 to go back, this is more like it. You can see right away that this edge nicely copies the backlight here. So the only thing to do here right now is just to make a connection there. So let's go again to the back, select this vertex right here and extrude it on the X like this, then extrude it here and here. So basically you can copy the shape of the backlight, and right here you can see this. Basically these are the edges that we are trying to achieve, and we just want to fill the empty space between with some nice topology. So this again are the basics of the edge modeling, which is used mainly for the vehicle and car modeling, where you need to match some shape. So let's go to the edge select, and we can of course close this one, and I can see right away that here and here we can have a nice quad. So we can just connect that, and here we can connect this. And maybe, yeah, I want to make another triangle right here. So let me go back. Let's go to the vertex select this one, and merge at last. And right now I will fill this triangle, and this is much better now. Right now just click this, and if there is an existing loop flow, you can just press F and it will find the nearest face that it can fill, and if you press F again, it does that again. So basically, if there wouldn't be any face here, you can just click here and press F 3 times and it'll fill for you. And now we can just extrude this down and make a connection here. You can of course make some slight adjustments there. And I'd like to align this on the y-axis, but with the median point selected here as a pivot point. So scale y 0, go to the side and move it back a little bit. Yeah, back. Now we can scale this as well. Scale y 0. And I want to make this flat. So select these two verts, press Q and click flatten. Alright. And that's your bodywork for a car. Now we can extrude some windows. So let's select this face, this one, and the front. Let's press Alt E to extrude along normals, extrude it down a little bit. And one more thing I want to do is to go to the edge select, select these bottom edges on these windows, not here, that's okay. And press G and Y to move it up a little bit. And here's your bodywork. Now we need to finish the front part, and we need to extrude the lights in the back. So let's go here, and this will be very simple. Just select these two faces, make an inset, scale this down and extrude. You can maybe move this a little bit to give it some shape, whatever you need to do. Okay,